guys, this is Christy Fulk with Create with Christy. I'm an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator in the US. Well, today I'm using the Peaceful Deer bundle on this Christmas card, and it really is a quick and easy card, and I'll be showing you this how to do this. I actually start off with a 3x3 inch square of the DSP, and just a lot of fun to make, and it's also featuring that Merry Melody 3D embossing folder. Now, I am doing an online class with this right now, and it is available until, let's see here, August 30th, 2021. So you don't have much longer. As I'm recording this, that's 1 week from today. And I'm going to show you everything that you get in the online class here first, and then we'll start making this card. Now, if you'd like to stamp along with me, you can click on that blog post link below, and that will list all the supplies and the dimensions that you need for all the cardstock and the paper. Okay, let's get started. Okay, first off, I want to tell you about my option 1. That's my complete online class. You will receive for $85 the Peaceful Deer bundle, and that comes with the punch and the stamp set, and it is a photopolymer stamp set. As you can see with deer and rabbits, if you have nature lovers or hunters or campers in your life, you could use this stamp set all year long. Yes, there are some for Christmas, but you can pair it with another greeting and use this all year long. So I love it when you can do that with a stamp set. So you'll get this bundle. You will also get the Real Red Double Stitch Satin Ribbon. This is from the annual catalog. I don't know if you can see the double stitching or not. It's a really pretty red ribbon. I love this ribbon. And it matches perfectly with the Peaceful Prince DSP that you'll be getting absolutely free in this class. And I'll show you that here in just a minute. But the other thing you're also going to get in the class is the brushed metallic cardstock. Now, they are coming 12x12 sheets. I am going to be sending it to you in 6x12. You will be getting the full pack, but this way it will fit inside my priority padded envelope, and you'll be able to just pay minimum on shipping. I didn't want to have to charge you too much on shipping. You wouldn't believe how much it hiked up if I kept it 12x12. So this is copper, this is the gold, and this is bronze. And I think it's 2 sheets of each, so you'll actually get 4 sheets of each this size. And I love the brushed look to it. It is so pretty. It's a lot, I like it better than our regular foil. Okay, now, like I said, you're going to get the Peaceful Prince DSP. This is Sale-A-Bration, absolutely free. Now, I have also had to cut this down to 6x12, so it'll fit in that same envelope. But here's one design. The colors are garden green, real red, Sahara sand, cherry cobbler, and black. I believe that's all of them in white, of course. So there's that one, and there's this one here. So you could definitely use the paper, not every single sheet, because this one you probably just use Christmas and winter, but the other ones you could use any time of the year, especially with this birch look. This one here. Love this gingham in that, oh, buffalo check actually, isn't that cool? This one. And in the class, I want to show you here the punch. This will punch out this perfectly, but see how this one's going the opposite direction? There is a trick on how to do that, and I'll be teaching you that in the class. And then we've also got one more sheet. This is a Sahara sand one with this on this side. So that's everything you get in the class supply-wise for $85. You will also get access to at least a year access to the videos, and there will be 2 of them. One will cover my 2 regular cards, and the other one will cover my 2 fun fold cards. And you will get the supplies, the cardstock supplies, any embellishments that are not included that I just showed you will also be added to the supply kit. So you have everything to make these cards except for your adhesive and the ink pads and say your trimmer. And you also need to have a blender pen. But other than that, I will include everything else in the class. Okay, so if you're interested in the online class and want to find out more about it, just click that online class link below and you'll be able to find out all the different options. The complete class, you'll have to register for. You just fill out that form, and then I'll send you a PayPal invoice within 48 hours. And then we'll also have the supplies only option that includes the videos, the PDF, and I think I forgot to tell you about the PDF. That will include the card pictures, a few instructions, mainly the dimensions. That way you can reproduce these cards again later. And the video only option, which just, of course, gives you the video. So let's go ahead and get started on today's card. Okay, first off, we're going to do some stamping. And let me get the stamp set back out here and show you which stamps you're going to need. You're going to need this one here, the Merry Christmas, the Snow one here, and the Wishing You a Wonderful Year of Friendship's Deer. And those will be all the stamps that you're going to need. And since I don't have to show you dies since we're using the punch. So we'll go ahead and get going on this stamping. This is a piece of basic white. It's 3.5 by 3.5. And let's grab that deer stamp right here. And I'm going to stamp him here on the right. And I'm going to use an early espresso ink pad. And before I punch him out, I'm going to color him in. And another thing that we're going to stamp on here, let's go ahead and stamp that Merry Christmas. And oh, we are going to use some dies, and I'll show you those dies here in a minute. We're going to be using the many messages. I'd totally forgotten about that. So we're going to stamp the Merry Christmas because that's what we're going to use here. And I'm just going to put this here on this side like this. I could have put it across the top too, for that matter. I made this extra big so we'd have paper to hold on to with the punch and be able to get that greeting on. So let's go ahead and color this in. I'm going to be using Stampin' Blends. Now in the class, I'm having you use a blender pen so that way you can use the ink pads that I've got listed to color these in. But let's go ahead and start with a dark, soft suede. And I think there should be a little shadow right here under his neck or her neck. Well, no, actually it's going to be his. We're putting antlers on this little guy. This probably has some shadow, so this is all with a dark, soft suede blend. Anywhere I think there should be a little bit of a shadow, that's where I'm putting the dark one. And let's go ahead and put a little bit right here in the fold of his ear. We're done with the dark now, so now we'll take the light Stampin' Blend. And you can use whichever tip you want. I tend to use the brush tip. I like it the best. But you can definitely use the other blunt end. So you just color the rest of the deer in, go around his eye. If you do color his eye, it's not that big a deal. And wherever the dark is there, go over it a couple times. That way it blends in. So it's not just, doesn't look like a straight line or anything like that. It'll just be a nice gradual shading. So I'll keep coloring this in. Now, one thing I want to show you, part of this I overlapped it a little too much. So I'm just going to go over all of this again with the light. So it looks a little smoother. It doesn't have those little blotches there. So you just keep adding more ink until you're happy with how it looks. I think I'll make that leg a little bit darker. The rest of that looks pretty good. Now that needs blended in some more. So I'm going to go over that dark just a little bit with a light soft suede. Go down the leg. I did get out of the lines just a little bit because I'm at an angle. But it's still going to look fine because we're going to be punching him out. Okay, so that looks really good. So I'm happy with that. So let's go ahead and grab the punch. We'll put him in. I'm going to angle it to me just for a minute, and then I will turn it to you before I punch it out. See, there he is all lined up. Punch. And he's ready to go. So I'll put him over here. Now, while I've got the punch out, I'm going to just grab a scrap piece of early espresso, and I'm just going to punch the antlers out here in the punch. Okay, I'll put these in my little dish. Okay, now let's stamp the inside of the card. This is a 4 by 5 1/4 inch piece of Sahara sand, and I'm going to use this little doe here laying here. Now this one, this is a girl, because we're not, or it could be a baby if you want to too. It doesn't have to be whatever you want it to be. We've stamped that with the early espresso. And since this is just on my Sahara sand, I'm going to take my light soft suede and color this in. I'm not going to bother, unless I get done here and I might change my mind. I'm going to color this in. We'll see if I want to add any dark for shading. But I think it's going to look just fine without, since it's already on the Sahara sand cardstock. So get this all colored in. Okay, I think I am going to add a little bit. We'll put a little bit under her neck, just a little bit. And actually, I think that's pretty good. Maybe a little bit right here. And then I'm going to blend that in again. Now, if you don't want to do this step, that is totally okay. I'm just coloring in. There we go, just to blend it a little bit. That gave her a little bit more depth. Okay, so now we've got our little doe all done. Now we're going to grab the Wishing You a Wonderful Year and Friendships Dear. And this time I didn't want to use all early espresso. I was afraid it was going to look too bland. So I'm using my Real Red ink pad. We're going to stamp this up here at near the top in the center. Okay. And then I thought that looked a little bland. So we're going to grab these snowflakes that are in here. I'm going to bring in the early espresso ink pad again. And I'm just going to stamp these across the top here. It's okay if you overlap a little bit, but you can see what you're doing since it's a photopolymer stamp set. And now we just got some snowflakes there at the top and stars and things. So I thought that looked neat. So we will go ahead and put this to the side because we'll put this in the card later. And now we need to get some die cutting done and embossing. Okay, now we've got the die cutting machine out. We're only going to die cut one thing and then emboss one thing. So we won't be using it for very long. But for die cutting, we need platform number 1. That's the base platform. Then plate number 2, which is a die plate, and then a standard cutting plate number 3. The die that I'm going to use is called Messages die. I think I had called Many Messages. That's actually one of the stamp sets that coordinate with it. But this one, you don't have to just use that stamp set, and I'll show you here in a minute. Let's bring in that Merry Christmas that we just did. And I'm going to use this one right here because I thought that one fit perfect. And it was kind of nice. It was actually on an end too, but if it hadn't been, I could have lined it up with this. It would have been just fine. Except too long. So we're going to do this, get this right here in the middle. Do some moving around here. There we go. Oops, got stuck to my finger there for a second. Okay, now we're going to take the standard cutting plate and bring it down nice and easy. Okay, keep those all lined up. Get this going through. Once that die is under there, then I can hold my machine. And I'm just going to go so far, make sure I know I've got this one is showing over here, so now I can go the other direction because I don't want to put that whole die through this because it'll start putting cuts in my plate that aren't needed. So we'll get this out of the way, and now we've got our Merry Christmas. So this is a really, really nice die to have. So this is called the Messages die. Okay, now we're going to do some embossing. So we still need the platform number 1, but the others we don't need. I'm going to grab a piece of Sahara sand. Once again, this is 4 by 5 1/4. And we're using the Merry Melody 3D embossing folder. Hopefully you can see the neat musical notes in there. And I'm going to put it in this way. The nice thing with having it 6 by 6, if this was going to be a landscape card, we could put it in like this and have plenty of room and have it landscape. We're doing portraits, so we're going to put it in this way. And to keep it straight, I'm going to line the bottom edge with that line in the embossing folder. Angle it to me so I make sure I'm doing it right. There we go. And we'll put this in. You always want to put it in fold first. And being a 3D folder, all we need is a specialty plate. And this does come with the Stampin' Cut and Emboss machine, along with the other plates we used for die cutting. Run this through. I love that the plates that you need come with the machine. You don't have to buy anything else to start die cutting and embossing. So there we go. I just love that. That is so neat. Okay, we're done with the die cutting machine, and let's finish this card. Okay, let's grab the card base. This is a piece of Real Red. It's 5.5 by 8.5. Grab my bone folder, and then we'll fold this in half. We're going to line up the corners. The best way to get this folded in half and straight is to line up those corners. Once you get those lined up, everything else is lined up. Okay. So here's our card base. Let's grab this embossed piece that we just did. And then we're going to grab a piece of brushed metallic cardstock. This is the copper one, but you can use whatever color you want. This is a 4 by 2. Grab my seal. I'm going to go ahead and put seal right across the whole thing of the narrow ends and just 2 little ones here on the long end. And I'm not going to put it right in the middle. It's going to be a little above center, but straight across. Okay. And we can go ahead and put this on the card base. So we'll turn this over, and this looks good with the debossed side too, so you can use whichever side you like. I think the notes still, well, they look backwards, so maybe not. I just thought of that. Once you turn it over, it may not look right. Let's see here. Put this on. Okay, now I need to get my cutter out, so let's get this moved over. Here's my cutter. And I'm going to grab a piece of that Peaceful Prints DSP. And this is a 3x3" piece. And what we're going to do, if you remember what the card looked like, there were 4 pieces. They were all 3/4" pieces. So I'm going to line this up at the 3/4" mark right here and cut. And I'm going to make sure I keep these in order because I want them to line up like so. So put this one here. Let me get over here. Maybe you can get this in the screen so you can see what I'm doing. Then we'll do another 3/4" piece like so. And then a thing I love about our trimmer, a lot of trimmers don't have little supports here near the cutting part, the slot here. So this makes it so I can just line this up and it's going to stay straight. It's not going to move around on me because it's got these nice little guides right here. Put this down. Put this over here. Let me get the cutter out of the way. And now you can see how I kept these in order. Okay. Now let's move these up and bring the card base back in. Now you want to put the side ones on first. This helps you with making it look a little more uniform and spaced out correctly. So what I'm going to do, this is kind of hanging over. I kind of liked this raised up just a little bit. So I don't want to put glue on the ends here so they're kind of look like it's humped. So let's turn this, make sure they're still lined up the way they should be. Turn this over this way. And I'm just going to put a strip and get this going again. Right here. Let's put a little bit more up here. And leaving the ends where there is no adhesive. And I'm going to put this one right here. Kind of line it up straight here. Okay. Now we're going to do this one. Turn this over. Do the same thing. Not all the way to the end. And I'm going to put this one, I'm going to stand up here and make sure I've got these straight because I want these to look pretty straight here. So I'm leaving the same width that I am over here. Maybe move over just a little bit. And I'm looking at this to make sure that these line up pretty good. And the neat thing about using seal, and this is being foil, if I need to lift one up, I can. So that also helps it not being stuck to that cardstock. So now we'll go ahead and take this one, turn it over like this. And it's make sure you always turn it over the same way. Don't flip it because then it's going to be upside down and not line up over here. We'll lay this one down. Actually, what I'm going to do, let's lay them both down and make sure we get these spaced out because I haven't pushed this one down, so that's why I'm able to move it so much easier. Okay, that looks pretty good. Actually, I think I'm going to move this one. Well, no, we'll leave it there. It looks fine. Make sure these are lined up. Turn this one. Make sure the images look like they're lined up. And that's another way it helps you know if you're getting these lined up. You can see all the images that are with it. There we go. Actually, this one looks a little cockeyed. Let's lift this up nice and easy. I think that's better. There we go. So now we've got these all set. Okay, now we're going to put the Merry Christmas on. So grab your Merry Christmas. Turn this over. You can use white or black dimensionals, whichever. I'm just grabbing my black ones because it's this kind of dark. And I have the mini and the regular sized ones with the same pack. So it just makes it a little easier. If it was, I know this is a white piece here, but the rest of the cardstock on the card is a little darker. So I kind of like the black ones for this one. And we're going to put this one over. Oops, don't want to upside down though, do we? I'm going to put it right over here to the right, but up a little bit. Maybe bring it down just a little bit more. There we go. Let me stand up here, make sure I've got it straight. Yeah, that looks pretty good. So now we've got that one on. Now our deer, we want to put some antlers on this guy. So let's grab these antlers. You want to make sure that you've got them going the right way. Let's see, this one doesn't look right. There we go. So that's the way we're going to put those on. So now I'm going to grab some glue dots. And I'm going to put one on the front. So grab this. And it's okay that it's overlapping. You can still see the glue dot because it's going to be hiding behind his head here. So I'm going to put this one right here. Okay. Grab this one. Make sure you get that glue dot on the front again. Right here. You could also put probably a strip of adhesive on the back of his head, but I thought this was a little easier. Make sure that glue dot is hidden. And now we've got our buck deer. And I'm going to put him on with dimensionals now. He's going to be on like so. So we don't want a dimensional on his bottom. So we'll just put some adhesive right here. I'm going to grab a full size. Actually, we can keep using the mini right here. Let's use the mini up here on his neck. Let's use one right here. And I think I might even put one up here at its head to hold those antlers on a little better. Okay, that should be plenty. Get these backings off. And then adhesive here will go on the Merry Christmas tag. And there we go. Isn't that neat? I really like that deer a lot. Now, I thought, okay, it needs a little something. So I'm going to grab some embellishments. These are called Gold Holly Leaves. And they're in the July to December mini catalog. And with the size I'm going for, you see how they're big leaves and smaller leaves. And there are also, I don't know if you can see these or not, but there's some veins in the leaves. But I'm going to use the small ones. So I'm going to get 2 small ones out. And I'm also going to use the Wonderful Gems. And I'm going to use one of these big red ones here. I think you probably can tell what I'm going for. Let's grab those glue dots again. I'm going to put one this time. It's not going to be on the back, not on the front. Put one right here. And I'm not going to worry if there's a little bit is showing here at the bottom because that's going to get covered up by my little embellishment here. So I'm going to lay this one here. I don't want it hanging over the edge of the card, but I want it to be close. I kind of like that look. Then we'll grab another. Make sure the veins are going the right direction too. Put another glue dot on here. Once again, not worrying if you see a little bit of it showing. Then I'm going to put this one on like this. Then I'm going to grab my Take Your Pick tool. I'm going to grab one of these larger red ones, real red, and put my little berry right there, and that's covering up those glue dots for me. So now we've got a little holly on our card. So I thought it just needed a little bit of bling. I thought that finished it off quite nicely. Now let's grab that piece that we stamped for the inside. Put this on the inside of the card and we will be done. So this one is not a hard card to make at all. And you could also, like I said, use strips of this. It actually is better though, I just thought, to do a 3-inch square. That way these images line up. My snowflakes are lining up. But if you don't care about it lining up, then you can definitely just grab some scraps to get that same look. So that's my Peaceful Deer Bundle card. I hope you enjoyed it. And don't forget about my online class, and it's available until August 30th. And if you live in the United States and do not have a demonstrator of your own, I would love to be yours. And if you contact me by clicking that Contact Me link below, I'd be happy to send you your first catalogs for free. This is the annual catalog and the July to December mini catalog, and then Sale-A-Bration. And I've got a link I'll put up at the top of the screen and also down in my video description about Sale-A-Bration in case you're new to Stampin' Up and don't know about Sale-A-Bration. You get free things during Sale-A-Bration, and it ends September 30th. And you also have that Join My Team deal with this too. That's the best deal of Sale-A-Bration. I kind of talked about that at the beginning of the video. So let's bring the card back in again. If you'd like to stamp with me again, make sure you subscribe to my channel and click on that little bell icon that'll pop up and select all. That way YouTube will notify you every time I do a new video. And if to support my channel, please give me a thumbs up or comment below. I really do appreciate it. It really does help, and it gets more people to see my video.